guys, welcome back to another YouTube video here today, and today we are going over my brand new cash build. I found a really cool interaction with the wilds. The wilds can proc block the wads, but it can also do some like crazy groundbreaker stuff. Like you can just use like the hot slugger on some situations and just get some crazy groundbreaker. Like, check this. Like that was, we didn't even do that much damage there, but we did from the hot slugger, but we did 15.9 million groundbreaker there with that little bit of damage we did, plus a 13 million. You can see that kind of hidden back there, and 1.8 million, 3.7 million, for a total of 35 mil. What it looks like to me. Pretty freaking insane for just not doing a whole lot of damage. And then if you like go ahead and take the like this, shoot this. Well, I hope I didn't ground slam like so far away. I don't think I got it. Get it. I think we got it there though. Yeah, a little delayed, so we did less damage. A little delayed on that. But anyways, this build is very strong. It's also focused on like ordnance damage. So your ordnance can do some pretty good storing damage here too. And do the Hemdall, shoot the Hemdall a bit. We got the timing right there. And as you can see, we did a 33 million groundbreaker with a bunch of bonus elemental damages and millions for a total of what, 55 million? Pretty insane. All right. On with the build. So we're using the linebacker for like Bloom's crystals and any crystal enemies, so you can take out crystals really easy. The beam tosser is for the raid boss at the end, not Thor or anything, but it is for just Terra. This works really well here on Terra. Works really well. Good. Basically, shoot off 3 and he just dies. And spread launcher is here if you want to use it. You don't really need it, but spread launcher is fun to use here. You can shoot it and just ground slam the enemy and usually just die immediately. And then we're using the hot slugger. The hot slugger so is literally here just get rid of fortune stacks. So now we have max fortune stacks right now. We have windfall, so this ain't gonna really. But as you can see, it procs our windfall and gets rid of our fortune stacks for us. So we can reset that when we're farming bosses a bit easier. Oh, mouse go. And then we're using the shiny war paint for you get extra fire rate. So now this is really nice. This allows you to get more Hemdall shots off a lot faster. So this is overall very nice. And then we're using the Brutal Pounder. You have Headringer, Gun, Torgalites, and parts. Get 25% damage and 100% damage radius. This one has shotgun splash damage, shotgun critical damage, and shotgun splash radius. Really nice for the linebacker. Triple amp watch for dinner. Also, we get 25 bonus shock damage while overshield is active. This is really nice because this goes into our groundbreakers also. This is really nice. And then we're using the seasoned trainer. This has 3 in dealers buff and 4 in the wilds. I would recommend getting one possibly with 5 in the wilds, and 2 in a dealer's buff would also be really good, but I haven't gotten a roll with it like that with skill damage on it because skill is important here. And then we're using 3 skill crafts, so you get more skill damage, skill critical chance, and increased skill damage up to by 2%. That's 25 times. And then we're using 2 gadget hoists, so you get ordnance cooldown reduced by a little bit, and then you get more ordnance damage. And then for the skill tree, now we're using 5 in charge bracelet, so you get more skill damage, which is nice. And then we're using 5 in Fortuna, you get some more elemental effect chance, elemental damage. 3 in bone mill tickets, so whenever you kill, whenever cash or bone totems kill an enemy, restore to X skill rotation with diminished returns, bone totems health. This helps us get a lot of stacks of from our totems during the takedown or when we're doing mobbing. So we can get a crap ton of ordnance damage and gun damage. And then we're using 1 in double team, so we can use more augments. 1 in luckless, so we can have an extra jink chance when you activate it, axe go near an enemy. And then we're using 1 in accursed bones, So you have other jinx chance when your axe skill damages the enemy. The enemy becomes a chance to become jinx. Then they also take increased damage. Then we're using 4 and can't stop winning. So you get 8% more gun critical chance. And action skill also has a 60% critical chance increase, which is actually really nice because your action skill can also proc windfall. And then we're using 3 in turn of fate. So you get life steal up to 20% damage dealt, which is really nice. Then we're using fortune's favors. You get gun damage and 30% gun damage the more overshoot you have. And then we have skill damage up to 39% also, which is really nice. And then we're using the wilds. Now this is just the most broken thing with Groundbreaker. Honestly, this thing is pretty freaking insane. Like as far as Groundbreaker goes, the cash, this is like the craziest Groundbreaker I've seen. It does some pretty crazy stuff. And for the augments, we're using Heavenly Sevens. So you get a little bit of overshield and an extra fire rate and reload speed, which can be really nice. 5 isn't alive, so we have an extra charge. We have 4 totems instead. And then we're using Dirty Dozen. So when we throw our totems, we get fortune stacks, which is really nice. And then we're using 1 in alchemy. So you have elemental effect chance. And this is also nice. You gain fortune stacks from your elemental effects. And then we're using 5 in unleash. So you get 20% more fire rate. 5 in standing bleed. So you have 10% more critical chance. 3 in blur of fingers brass. 1 in double teens. So you have an extra augment slot in green tree. 2 in hot hand. So your cash gets bonus fire damage. This also gives you fire damage on your melees. So you get guaranteed fire damage on your melees, which is really nice. 5 in lawless. So cash deals kinetic damage when kinetic damage increase. And then 1 in full truck full of nitro. You get bonus kinetic damage or damage dealt. And then we're using 1 in Pale Rider. Action skills deal bonus kinetic damage or damage dealt. 3 in War Wagon, so you get ammo refund. And 1 in Nothing Like Beats, so your elemental damage does kinetic damage, which is increased damage. But this also allows you for a lot more refunds a lot faster. And then for these specializations, we're using Groundbreaker. We're using Tripwire, Full Spectrum Arsenal, and Fragment Payload, all the ordnance stuff. That is about it for this build video. I hope you guys enjoy the build video. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Also, if you guys want to become a member now, that is available now. If you guys would like to become a member, be greatly appreciated. Not expected you guys become a member, but that is an option now. Peace out, guys.